let me take you into the crazy world of my reptiles, birds, amphibians, mollusks, fish, mammals, and of course the depths of my own mind. This is Lindsay's Animal School. I am a girl who talks to the animals. I bring them breakfast and I pick up all their poo. If you'll please subscribe, I'll take you for a ride in my animal school. Hello, welcome to Animal School. This week we're going to be looking at snakes. We're also going to see the finished progress of our chipmunk aviary.
And we're going to draw a snake and see how many animals are exercising in our safe garden. So I'm continuing Banjo's education outside. It's really important that I socialise him to being outside because I don't want him to fly away. Last week, lots of people wrote in and asked me if he was going to fly away. And the thing is, Banjo has Banjo has never really flown before. He was stuck in a cage for about 10 years before he came to me. He had no feathers, and I think his wings have actually suffered some muscle wastage so that he won't fly. He loves the other animals and he loves being part of the channel. And as I said, because he wants to present as well, he's going to be coming outside and talking about some of the animals, aren't you? This week's feature creature is introducing the order of snakes.
I wanted to introduce snakes as a general concept because I understand that there are people out there that are scared of snakes. It's very easy to be scared of something that you don't know about. And I'm not saying that there aren't dangerous snakes in the world, but certainly none of the snakes that I bring are in any way likely to hurt you.
Using the help of my colleagues Bruce, Mario and Scarlett, I will teach you a few facts about snakes.
Scarlett's body is covered in scales. Now scales as a word sound a bit like nails. Scales. And our fingernails are made out of the same material, called keratin. Keratin is one of those words that pops up in shampoo commercials. Ooh, added keratin. And the reason for that is that there's also keratin in our hair. It's the same material put together in different ways. Well, scales are a bit like the snake wearing a suit of armour. They protect the whole body of the snake from things that might pierce the snake or predators that might grab the snake. They are very, very useful and they're waterproof. So when the snake sticks out his tongue, he's not being rude. Snakes have to stick their tongue out several times a minute in order to smell. The forked tongue is just the tongue breaking up into two smaller tongues. Those tongues allow the snake to tell whether the mouse it's smell following has gone left or right. Whoop. Snakes never blink, and this is because they do not have eyelids. So you must never challenge a snake to a staring competition because you will lose. Pythons are constrictors, which means that they wrap around their prey and squeeze the life out of it. The truth is, all snakes have to constrict just because they are snakes. What this snake is doing now on my thumb is constricting. He is wrapping around my thumb in order to grip on. Snakes are full of muscles and they're also full of bones. The snake has ribs that go all the way from his head down to his tail, and those are some of the most flexible bones in the animal kingdom. They allow the snake to walk on his ribs without breaking them. Is this animal capable of eating me? Any thoughts? No. This snake is far too small to fit me in her body. Now snakes can eat things that are a little bit bigger than them, but really they can't expand their jaw further than the fattest part of their body. Therefore I am far too fat to fit inside her. Sadly, snakes have been poached and hunted for the patterns that they have on their scales. An interesting thing about snakes is that another myth is that they are slimy. But let's face it, what lady wants a slimy handbag or a slimy pair of shoes? The feel of snakes is not at all cold and wet. In fact, it's smooth like plastic. It's lovely to touch. hence the fact that people have wanted to make stuff from their skin. I absolutely love snakes, and I'm looking forward to going more in depth with them in future episodes. But I've got to warm you doubters up to the idea. And so, our little introduction of snakes here will hopefully make you understand
a much misunderstood order of reptiles. Now, years of hard work have gone into the chipmunk aviary, and this week there were only a few loose ends to tie up before the beasties could go in.
So the idea is that they can run through here, along this tunnel, in here. Some of the jobs that we've got left to do is, you see this mesh here isn't quite joined, so we need to cable tie that up. And another bit where we've been patching.
So we've nearly finished our aviary for the chipmunks, which is a walk-in aviary with these rather fetching trees. And I just want to introduce you to, this is Spider. And Spider was picked on by some of the other chipmunks, so he is in this cage in the aviary. And he will be the first to be released. This is going to be the most fantastic space for my lovely little friend. They'll be able to go up in here, go up on there. You can have a great time. And finally it was time to open the cage and let Spider out. And despite being reluctant at first, Spider eventually ventured out into the expanse of the brand new aviary and was soon followed by several of his friends.
So to say that it took 2 years to build is definitely not an understatement. And all the people that are friends with me and live with me thought I was utterly mad because I wanted to build this aviary around these trees. I don't know if you've ever tried to build an aviary, but it is definitely easier to build it on just a flat bit of ground that has nothing else in the way. But we built it round the trees so that the chipmunks would have the benefit of using the trees to climb. And I must admit, I'm quite pleased with the results, because they're scampering up and down them. Chipmunks are members of the squirrel family. Technically they're classed as ground squirrels because they don't live as high in the treetops as some of the true squirrels, and also include underground burrows as part of their habitat. We benefited from a huge amount of aviary panels from people that donated them. All these donations really help because a roll of metal could be about £80.
But every penny's worth it when the chipmunks are able to use their tunnels. I love it. They're running from the inside where it's warm all the way out to the aviary, and I could just watch them all day. There they go, back again, checking it out, going back again. I love them. It's a plane. Rare sight these days. Where it's going. And while I stared at the skies, my chickens broke into my veg patch. Awful chickens dug up all my hard work. They dug it up and kicked it up and just, they suck. Stupid chickens. And so it made sense to get the mesh out again. We've got this mesh here, and if you can see down the fence, I'm going to be stapling the mesh all the way along, and I've already meshed along the back, which should stop them escaping and pecking my spinach. Culprits. So while it may have seemed funny seeing me chase the chickens around, it was actually pretty annoying because I put in quite a lot of work growing the veg and then they just ate them. So I'm going to be fencing off the veg patch so there will be no more thieves coming to steal my plants. I seem to permanently be working with mesh these days, meshing the chipmunks, meshing out the rabbits, meshing out the chickens. So you can see my fence has wire on it, which isn't amazing, but it's something. It's all good. And the fencing is really important because while it keeps the big rabbits in, the more we mesh and the more we fence, we're going to be able to have even more smaller animals free roaming in the field. And it's incredible. Sometimes I just can't believe I'll have up to 20 animals all interacting and safe in this beautiful space that we have created. Check out the footage from my GoPro camera when I just left it on the grass and see just how many of them are coming and mingling, and they're all happy animals. It's kind of annoying. I'm trying to tame my pigeons, but Arnold keeps getting in the way, which isn't surprising for Arnold because that's what he does best. Getting in the way is his favourite thing. But he better not get in the way of my rabbit date.
This is Badger, and Badger lives on his own, enjoying the bachelor life. although I suspect you'd feel a lot happier with a friend. For this reason, I was really happy to adopt a lovely girl rabbit called Felicity, and I'm hoping to introduce the two of them together. I'm going to do this gradually over time because rabbits are very territorial, and to start their introductions I'm going to put them side by side in these rabbit runs here. So I've put Felicity in the rabbit run here so she can get close to but not actually touch our badger. It's really important that you introduce couples of rabbits slowly, because if they fight, chances are they'll bear a grudge and then you'll never be able to put them together. I was very pleased to be able to offer Felicity a home here. I used to work at a pet shop 12 years ago, and at 6 years old, I've known Felicity since she was a baby. I remember when she first came in, staying at the pet boarding section of the shop where I used to work. It's always sad for people that donate animals to come and live here, especially if they've known them for a long time. But one of the nice things is that I am able to offer people that they can visit their animals even after they've given them up. It's a great situation for Badger, and it's a great situation for Felicity. You deserve a nice girlfriend, don't you?
So I'll let you know what goes on with our happy couple of rabbits over the next few weeks. Hopefully they'll end up in their marital bliss soon. Until then, I'll keep putting them out in the runs and bringing them in at night. Thanks again for your brilliant pictures of llamas. There were slightly less this week, I don't know if you were asleep or something, but Monty, top effort. Banjo couldn't agree more that parrots win. Yes, in fact he finds that very, very funny. Parrots do win, every week it seems. In fact, the favourite he picked out this week was by Amelie, another late-coming parrot. Oh ha ha, very funny. Seriously though, Amelie, it's beautiful.
Can you do the letter S? Can we all do the letter S? So if I'm doing an S shape, oh, you might notice occasionally that my logo has got a snake on the S shape. So that's not a very good snake. So we need to give him a few more snake features. First of all, being a head, which we're going to do as a kind of sort of oval shape. You'll see this shape coming up a lot. There are very few actual circles when it comes to nature and animals. Generally we're working in ovals, that's what I would call an oval shape. And then once we've curled around, we're going to follow the body of our snake, go right in and copy the line. I find this quite fun, just copy the line that you have done all the way around until we get to sort of the last bit. Once you're sort of getting near the tail here,
So keep filling in the
We're gonna
pattern,
join the tail up
and
like
before
that
you know it,
into
you'll
a
have
point.
a very
So that
special
is a
snake.
S
Make sure you colour them
snake.
in and
To
send them
make it
to me.
particularly like a snake, we're going to give it a forked tongue. If you know why the snake's tongue is forked, it means it splits into two smaller tongues, and all snakes have that. It helps them to smell even better. The eye, we've got a circle with a dot in it, just like we did with the guinea pig when we looked at that the other day. The snake, okay, so this snake's nose is a little bit more prolonged. We'll go into that. That's a python, but you see the snake has a pretty pattern. So really, I'd like to see some creative ideas here, but if we are to copy a pattern of a python, we're going to give it sort of blob type shapes in like this. We're going to make these shapes fairly similar, not identical, because nature has a wonderful way of making them, you know, an interesting but not identical shape. Adding in all the different colours as you go. Obviously Bruce here's colours are a kind of olive and a black colour, which is interesting. Okay.
The original chipmunk was a rescue, and we managed to build this aviary. The chicken is always interrupting. The snake does not respond to visual signals, and he doesn't. I don't know, something.
I know, it's all scary, isn't it? Big open sky.
Turkey has an accessory.
Fashion accessory.
That's not your feather.